Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another episode of Bill Has Opinions, the drinking show with an aging problem. We're getting old. I'm Laura Lavoie, and I'm here with Bill Perkins, who has opinions.
Yeah, and liver spots.
And yeah, no shit.
I mean, I actually do one or two. Like,
yeah, me too.
I'm starting to get them.
I got one right here. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, we're going to talk all about aging today. But in the meantime, like, how are you doing?
I'm doing quite decent.
Any new aches and pains?
This week? No, not really. You know, I had to think about, because I was thinking about this show, you know, the last day or two, like trying to decide, like, yeah, no, not really. No, I'm pretty good. We made. I think I mentioned a time or two in the last couple of weeks that we've been converting our basement into a little den area, and we've made some considerable effort on that. It's getting there. We have like one more thing to purchase. Well, yeah, one more thing to purchase really, and it'll be mostly done. But that's the biggest news in my life, honestly. That, and I got this is a big week, going to some concerts this weekend.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, that's thing, and we'll talk about something related to that later, I guess, kind of, probably.
Yes, probably. I imagine
it'll come back. The ability to stay out late, whatever, and do things.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's what I mean. Sorry, I don't mean to be like, I'm gonna be guarded about this whole thing. But
no, that's a good one, and I'm writing it down because yes,
the difference between. But anyway, I didn't want to get into the show topic exactly just yet. That's what I was trying. That's why I'm being coy about it, because we usually don't do it immediately.
Right, we work our way into it. Except the truth is, this whole show is about the fact that we're getting fucking old. So
yeah,
every episode.
Yeah, so. every episode we're getting older. It's like There Will Be Giants said, you're older than you've ever been, and now you're even older.
Yeah,
and now you're even older
still.
Yeah,
absolutely. So no, I had a huge weekend.
Yeah,
an exciting weekend. Well, I've had a mixed weekend, but the biggest thing was on Saturday, a client of mine who is a thoroughbred trainer ran her horse in the Belmont Stakes. And this couldn't be a Triple Crown year anyway, because the horse, the two different horses won the first two races. So it didn't really matter. However, my client, she was the first, and her name's Jenna Antonucci. You can look her up online, but she was the first female trainer. Well, she was the 11th female trainer in the history of the Belmont Stakes.
Okay. If
she won, she would be the first trainer to win. Her female trainer to win.
And how did she do?
She won the whole fucking thing.
Wow.
It was amazing. By about a horse length, he won, and his the horse was Arcangelo. So literally history books, and it was super exciting because I know Jenna. I work with Jenna's other company, Horseology. And so
is that the study of horses?
It is. It is the ology of horses.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
I thought it might be, but you never can tell, because herpetology really threw me off. It turns out it has nothing to do with sexually transmitted disease.
Not the study of herpes. No.
So, sometimes you're just like, and the people who get entomology and etymology mixed up bug me in ways that words can't express.
Always a classic. Always a classic. But yes, Horseology. So check them out. I didn't want to do an official pitch for them because they did not consent to it. And this show is kind of a mixed bag. So I did not want to bring them into that.
But that's good. Although on the downside, like good news and bad news. Good news, her horse won. Bad news, she didn't bet on it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't bet on it because you can't bet from North Carolina.
Oh.
It's illegal.
You can't
bet on horses.
You can't bet in North Carolina. You can't legally.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you find the right people, you can bet on a horse in North Carolina. You just don't know this.
I do not. But at the same time, part of me was like, I mean, this is why I never bet on the Lions either, because most of the time it's betting on them to lose, right? But because part of me would be like, I don't Like that seems
jinxy or something.
Yeah, totally jinxy. Like I don't want to jinx the horse. I don't want to put a bet on it.
I got you.
Although one of our other clients bet on the horse and won, so that's obviously
you said the odds were 7-1.
7-1.
So those are pretty good odds.
Yeah, not the favorite.
Like if you throw $10 down, you'd have $70 today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's a good evening out.
Absolutely, yeah. And depending on how much you bet,
if you bet 20, you'd have 140.
You bet 100.
I'm only so good at math.
Bet 1,000. Yeah, no, absolutely. No, you're on the right track. That's no pun intended. You're on the right track. So, but then sad news. I learned that a friend of mine from Atlanta, who was also one of my employees for a long time, just passed away this weekend. So then I was also sad. And she's, speaking of aging, she's only a little bit older than me. So I was like, oh.
And that always kind of makes you think.
Yeah, it really does.
I felt that, so, and we're getting into it early. I'm just going to mention it really quick, though.
Sure.
I remember when Adam Yount from Beastie Boys passed away. That was, I think, the first one that really, like, made me, because he was maybe like 2 years older than me. And I was like,
right.
Right.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Up to that point, like celebrities die, and you always read, and you're like, and I do this all the time because, like, lately, Tina Turner passed away last week, and I love Tina Turner, but again,
she passed away at 90-something, 80-something.
I don't know. Yeah.
Either way, she passed away being old. She had long-term health concerns and all kinds of things. But she was old. Like the Unabomber just died. They're like, he's 81.
I don't even know how old he was because I could care less.
Well,
honestly.
Right, but he was 81, and I'm like, well, it appears he died of death.
That's usually how I feel. Like when old people die, I'm like, well, yeah, that's the circle of life. Old people die.
Right. But when a young person dies,
then you stop and you have to examine your own mortality for a minute,
especially when it's someone your age or younger. Like, yeah, absolutely, I agree. But speaking of mortality, we're drinking ourselves to death.
True that,
as we often do,
and it's the best way to go.
A little cirrhosis of the liver. So what do you got? Well, both of us started out with the Lagunitas.
We did that. That's the one I was drinking last week too. That I didn't remember the name. Maybe, or did I?
Yeah, I don't remember. But it's a crisp session IPA, so it's actually impressive that Bill likes it.
Because it's crisp.
But it's hoppy.
Just enough to be crisp. It's not like bam, like there's a whole pile of hops in your mouth, right? Like
sure.
It's just a clean taste. And then it's like so light that you can it's crushable, I'd say.
I'll tell you, this will also a gateway drug, though. You're gonna start drinking like these IPAs, and the next thing you know, you're gonna be drinking.
Well, okay,
bigger IPAs. Whatever happens.
I mean, I'm
drinking.
Speaking of, I'm drinking this right now.
Yes, and I have that on deck.
Yeah, because she had it in the fridge, and so I brought a whole little pack of the Lagunitas, and then she was, we were just like, hey, let's just swap them up.
Right. And then I also just bought a 6 of Lower Falls IPA, which I've had on the show.
And is that a crisp one also?
Yeah, it's also, I told you should have one.
I should. All right, maybe I'll do it with the pizza.
If you like the Lagunitas Daytime, you will probably like this one.
Okay.
And you've probably tried it before, and I don't remember whether you liked it or not.
I probably have. I mean, I don't hate all IPAs. I just don't like the ones that are like, hey, you want a whole bunch of pine tree taste in your mouth?
And a lot, this isn't a beer show, but a lot of that depends on the kind of beer you got. Right?
Sure, yeah.
Like they're the kind of hops.
The kind of hops and how much of them and blah, blah, blah.
Because some are really resiny, some are really piney. I know you prefer when they're like citrusy.
Yeah, the citrus hops don't bother me at all.
Yeah.
In any hoppy beer that's also got a citrus flavor, I'm usually like, whatever.
Yeah, although this isn't citrus, it's mango. I mean, it's tropical flavor.
Well, tropical flavors too, because I've honestly been exhausting myself looking for some Going Coastal.
I know, right? Which also is an IPA, in case you're wondering.
But it's the best IPA. I put that out there. That is probably, that's probably the best one.
It's hard to find. I don't
even know if they can it anymore, do they?
I've seen it in some, but yes,
okay.
I have seen it in the wild.
I haven't even seen it in a 12-pack where you're going to wind up with 3 other beers you don't want.
Right. We were at the brewery recently, and their menu said they had it on tap, but they did not.
Okay. I went somewhere the other day, and they said they had a whole bunch of different Sweetwater beers, and I was like, "Do you have Going Coastal?" And they were like, "No, we don't." And I was like,
"We got 420, we got Blue."
I don't want those. I want Going Coastal. I want that pineapple, that sweet pineapple taste,
sweet pineapple beer. But yes, so before this is technically getting into the topic, which we've already gotten into anyway. But just before you came over, I walked up to the corner store because I was like, oh, I don't really have a lot of beer, so I should probably go get some.
Yeah.
So I walked up to the corner store, which is just a shitty little store, but they have a surprisingly good beer selection. And I got this one.
Do you mean the little gas station up that way?
Yeah.
They also have an oddly weird Middle Eastern food section.
They do. Well, the owners are Jordanian.
Okay.
But
so you can buy like canned dolmas and shit like that there also, which is weird.
But they have a really good beer section. So I went and looked, and I was like, oh, I'll just get a like a variety pack. But then I was looking, and I saw 1984, which is one of my favorites. And I saw the 85. Yeah, 1984 is a whole different gun.
That's the dystopian
That's
beer.
A completely different beer.
That's got too many hops.
It'll just burn out your whole brain. And then you're just like, then you're just doing groupthink and everything. But so I got that, and I got the Lower Falls because I like that. So anyway, long story short. But there was a Zoomer that was working the register, and put these two up on the register, on the counter, and they say to me, can I see your ID? And I'm like, why, of course you can, because I've reached the age where that's exciting.
You're like, woohoo!
And I'm like, look at
we're
this
doing that
date.
now.
This date is in the 1970s. and
they just look at the 19 and they're like,
that's it. But they looked at it, and then because I think a lot of people sometimes feel awkward and like they have to make a comment about something.
Sure.
Right. So they know they looked at my ID. They know it said 1970 something. And obviously I could have get beer. But then they're like, oh, and I quote, actually, I wrote it down. You look much younger than you actually are. And I'm like, that I actually am. Well, thanks. And how exactly do you respond to that? I'm like, I sure do. Go me. Very, very young. But but
about 3 years ago, I reached the point where apparently I don't. I used to get I used to have a thing where if I would shave my beard, I would not get, but now I think my eyes have caught up with.
And you got the gray temple
situation. I got the gray temples and the crow's feet. So now even if I shave, I'm still like an old man. It doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Right. And so I am, nearly a quarter of a century, I'm nearly a half a century old, but I don't have any gray hair, like no natural gray hair. But my father, and I have his hair, like when he turned like 60 something, it just overnight. And I mean, he kept his hair real short, so that's probably why, right? Like you didn't notice, and then someday it was, and like one day I went to see him, and it was just like solid silver, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Apparently, that's what I have to look forward to, but it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. So, I mean,
I wish I could say that, but I won't say that.
Matt is, my beloved life partner. Matt is also very gray, and He does do like the little like wash in beard treatment.
Oh, does he? I only reason I'll ever do it is when I'm at Dragon Con and I'm doing Commander Riker.
Right.
Unless I want to play current Commander, but I don't because I don't want to buy a new uniform.
Right.
So.
Most of the time I think he's just fair enough. But I think he's just looking for like salt and pepper instead of just like I kind of Steve Martin.
So the thing for me is I wish it would just go like because you notice mine, like this part's gray, but this part's auburn. And I'm like, fucking decide already. Like, just pick a thing. I don't give a shit.
I don't care.
But
make me look some actual age. But I mean, that's just how it goes, right? That's the thing about aging is it's unpredictable. I mean, you're younger than you, but I have zero gray hair, and not because I don't want it. I actually would welcome it. But I do still. I have theories about gray hair and child rearing, and I think that they're a little bit somewhat That's fair, but my
Well,
father...
except for Matt has no children also.
Matt has no children. He's gray. My father had 3 children. He didn't go gray until he was 60-something.
Crazy.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I think it's just
I always joked around and said, you know, my wife, she's got this really cool, she's got this little, like, streak right here, like Bonnie Raitt or what's the Marvel character? I can't. Rogue, yeah. That's what she calls it, the rogue streak, you know, but she's just got this one little stripe right here. Which is pretty cool. She actually quit dyeing her hair because the streak was so cool.
Right.
She just said, "Fuck it." You know what? That's awesome. I like that.
Right. No, I dig that. I had a friend growing up that had when he was born, he was just like towhead blonde, and it darkened over time. But he had a birthmark on the back of his head. That the patch of hair on that birthmark, even when his hair turned brown, stayed like white blonde.
Oh wow.
And he had this whole streak in the back of his, but it was in the most inconvenient spot because it's in the back of his head.
Oh, okay.
But now he's gone gray, and I don't know that it matters anymore.
Now I had a buddy, I'll say this, and this is probably the same with Matt, because he's got very dark, like almost black hair.
Yeah.
And I had a
Mediterranean.
Yeah, but I had a buddy in high school who had black hair. And he was probably like Black Irish or something, you know what I'm saying? Like,
the true Celtic.
Yeah. But he fucking went gray at 18.
Yeah.
and a lot of people with very black hair go gray early.
Yeah, we have a friend that went gray very, very early, and he continued to dye his hair like dark brown most of his adult life. Like he went gray, you know, late teens, early 20s. And he dyed his hair most of his life, and he just recently let it go.
Finally said, "Fuck it."
And he looks like Steve Martin.
Yeah,
Like you went from like 90s kid to Steve Martin, like overnight.
And Steve Martin was gray when he was in his like late 20s.
Right, exactly.
To be fair.
All right, so we haven't even gotten we normally do a monologue. Do you got a short monologue, or do we just want to dive into the rest of this and after we do our station break?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess we kind of covered it.
We kind of already started, so
yeah. I mean,
we'll just
what's there to say except for you get
we're
older.
Aging. We're both nearly a half a century old.
Yeah, it's a thing that's happening, and I can't do anything to stop it.
No, there's nothing.
Honestly, I don't really care. We'll get to that, but
right.
I don't.
No, yeah, and that's a whole other thing to do. Because I
okay.
Agree.
No, I do have one. Okay, what I'll say is this: I had my midlife crisis at 27.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't so much a midlife crisis as it was a death of youth crisis. I think.
A quarter-life crisis.
Well, I realized at the age of 27 that you had to start being a grown-up, kind of. Right? You don't have to.
Overrated.
You don't have to. But I felt like there were things that if I hadn't done by 27, it would feel like I was trying too hard. Now, caveat, I feel like some of these things, so the goalposts have been moved a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, this would have been in the late, when would it have been?
It would have been
late 90s. Late 90s.
27?
When I was 27.
Been the early 2000s.
Early 2000s. Right around 2000, maybe.
Yeah, I need a calculator. Folks, if you know how to do math.
74.
Yeah.
What is that?
1974, when you're until, I did not bring my phone, so yeah, exactly. You are getting older because we're just taking forever.
Yeah.
And fair enough, Heather. And that's what my mom always said. Like, that's one of my mom's favorite quotes is it's better than the alternative. For sure.
Right?
I mean, and now my mom's going to be 84 this year, so true.
Okay, so it would have been 2001. Around 2001, I had my midlife crisis, okay? Which was
that tracks, yeah.
But it was actually my death of youth crisis is what it was, because I realized at the time there were things I hadn't done yet. And if I hadn't done them yet, I probably wasn't going to do them, because if I did do them at that point, I feel like I was trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Which these things were mostly I hadn't dyed my hair blue. And so what I'm saying about the goalpost being moved is now nobody gives a shit.
I dye my hair all the time.
That's not even rebellious anymore. It's an aesthetic choice.
We also live in Asheville, which
dude, I don't know if anybody cares. This is funny. My mother-in-law, when she used to own the Purple Onion, she had a strict thing about weird hair colors and facial piercings and whatnot. And Emily's like, Mom, nobody gives a fuck.
Right.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Oh, the other day, they had a wedding on Sunday. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And the wedding planner had sent out this notice. And at some point in the thing, it was like, this is going to be awesome as fuck or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Susan was like, that just sounds unprofessional. And Emily was like, Mom, nobody gives a shit.
Not anymore. No, honestly, my business partner called me on Saturday right after the race, and literally the first thing she said was, she fucking won.
Yeah.
And there would have been a time where that would have like startled me.
No,
but
it's
it
like,
didn't.
that's a case of okay boomer is what that
Yeah,
is.
it kind of is.
And all that stuff. So, but anyway, I'm just simply saying, in 2001, I had not yet had blue hair, and I decided at that point I probably wouldn't ever. That would be a dream I'd have to let go. Although to be honest with you, I wanted blue hair when I was in high school, and then once I got to college and I could have done it,
right? I did that too.
I kind of didn't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like I was like, yeah, I don't care. Like.
I didn't. Well, once I got to, because I did the same thing. I wanted like cool hair once I got to college to rebel because I wasn't allowed to do a lot of cool shit. But by the time I got to college, I was poor and I didn't
had other things going on.
There was before Matt and I started
dating. Do I want to spend $19 on some Manic Panic, or do I want to go to a concert?
Well, that's part of the. Actually, I did dye my hair blue. I did dye my hair blue with Manic Panic once. The problem is, my hair is just. Right now it's actually kind of pink, but my hair in its natural form is that sort of borderline between brown and blonde.
Sandy blonde, they call it.
Sandy blonde, yeah. I've also heard it called blonde. But I dyed my hair blue with Manic Panic, but I didn't, bleach it first.
You didn't bleach it first, so it didn't really pop like you wanted it to.
No, and then it turned green, and it was green for like 6 months.
I will say that blue and green are the worst colors to dye your hair because when they fade, like unless you're going to keep it up, they look like you look like a fucking zombie when they fade out. Whereas you can dye your hair purple, and when it fades, it'll fade to a pleasant pink, and then to a like a nice strawberry blonde or whatever the fuck.
I do reds and oranges now. Reds, oranges, and pinks.
Because when they fade out, they don't look awful.
They're also my colors. Yeah, like some people just look better in your colors and purple.
Blush and bashful.
All right, real quick before we run out of show. Speaking of old people, I wanted to mention for our little thing we do, my business.
Oh yeah,
right. And the reason, because of course we do Horseologies and Jenna's website and stuff, but we're also both women of a certain age. And so if you want to, and we do cool websites, cool work. I do the writing. My business partner, Tiana, does all the design and all the back end stuff.
What does DPEG stand for?
Develop, plan, execute, and grow.
Aren't you glad I asked?
Yeah. So meet your new website. Go to dpegmarketing.com, blah, blah, blah. Thanks. Okay. So let's continue talking about this shit.
All right.
So yeah, to your point, the quarter life crisis that you had, because my quarter life crisis was I had never lived outside of Michigan. Oh. And we had a chance to move. Uh-huh. And in 2003, so almost exactly 20 years ago, which would have been in my late 20s, we moved to Georgia. Okay. And then we just stayed south after that. Yeah. So that was
curiosity satisfied.
Well, satisfied, and also, I mean, I love you, Detroit, but I like it here.
It's fun to visit.
It's fun to visit.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, let's start out with we'll go back to this. Let's start out with some of these. These are more like straightforward situations. Well, actually, you mentioned this in conjunction with the concert.
Oh yeah.
Staying out late.
Yeah, it's harder to do.
Oh my God, it's harder to do. It's harder to drink. Like we've talked about that, we're both like drinking mostly like 5% beers and lower. Yeah. That's literally survival.
It's because I want to be able to drink a few more. Mm-hmm. Like I like the taste of beer. I don't need to get smashed. Like if I know I'm only going to have one or two and then call it a night, then I'll grab a 9%.
Well, and these are actually a little higher, but 6.7.
Okay, but
we're gonna have a pizza.
But we're
stuff
mixing it up. But you know what we're saying.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and like, yeah,
you gotta pace yourself. Kids, you're getting older, and I'm talking to one particular person who's on here tonight. Pace yourself,
absolutely,
and be aware if you've had more than your friends when you go out. You don't want to. You want to try and match beer for beer, especially when they're drinking pilsners and you're drinking high gravity IPA. You're gonna get messed up.
It's funny because behind me on the bed you can't see it, but yeah, no, absolutely. No, I'm in bed by 10 o'clock unless it's a very special occasion, like on regular.
I bet I'm not like I don't go to sleep at 10 o'clock. I probably watch TV until 12. 10 to 12 is like wind down, like watch TV, blah blah blah. But I don't really like being out late, and I definitely, goddamn, if I have to drive somewhere.
Oh God.
Oh man, I've gotten so bad. Like that's the thing. I've gotten reading glasses now. I started to go grab them, but then we were like a minute from showtime. I would have brought them in here and showed them to you, but I got reading glasses.
Well, I got
not reading glasses, but driving glasses.
Driving glasses, yeah. So you're more distance then.
Well, I mean, I have reading glasses too for the computer,
right?
But I don't actually use those most of the time because I can usually function without those. But the driving glasses mean a big deal to me now because I couldn't read road sign. I had 20/20 vision, and then I went from that to
and then one day you didn't,
just squinting at road signs, and like
right.
So it makes a huge difference. And I got the ones they've also got like a yellow tint to them, so they make everything a little bit brighter at night,
yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
No, I've had glasses since I was 8 because I was that nerd.
Yeah.
But I've had bifocals for the last now they don't do actual bifocals. Now it's the progressive lenses.
Is that worse or better?
It's better because you don't have the line. You don't have the line.
So my driving glasses actually do have a line.
Oh.
So if I look, I have the reading down here. So if I'm looking at the gauges or something. Although I think it's a little disorienting. Like honestly, I probably could have left that part off. I should have. The next time I order them, I'll probably just get the distance ones because I'm fine. Like honestly, I don't give a fuck how fast I'm going. Here's one of the perks of getting older. I'm a middle-aged white man. Who gives a shit? Ain't nobody pulling me over for nothing. You know what? My license plate has been expired since November.
Holy shit! Don't put that on the internet.
No, it's okay. I got a ticket for it already.
Oh, okay.
I only got a ticket. I only got a ticket for it because they were running one of those traffic stops on Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
If I hadn't gone through a traffic stop, nobody ever is going to stop my ass. They're just like, yeah, it's just a middle-aged white guy. Let him go.
I would suggest maybe you do it.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, I went to the place the other day and I got an inspection and they were like, you got to buy new tires. And I called my wife and I was like, this is going to be a fucking $700 affair now, because I got to get new tires. And they also told me to take my tint off the windows because I bought my car in South Carolina and it's got like South Carolina tint, which is illegal here.
I've heard that a lot.
But I'm just going to go to a different place to get it inspected a second time.
I will tell you,
You know a place?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll tell you off the show.
Okay.
Yes, I know a place that...
you know what I usually do is I roll up with the top down and the windows down, and they don't even fucking ask.
Right.
But I went to a different place this time, which I shouldn't have done. Like, I should have just gone to my regular place.
Yeah, well, try that. I mean...
yeah, I'm going to go to my regular place. But
go to your regular place because the inspections are legally mandated to be only a certain price. So you're only going to spend that much for the... They know, and if anyone tries to charge you more, tell them to fuck off.
No, but so here's the thing. So there's 3 different charges. So first off, the county. Well, I live in Henderson County, but I border Polk County. So everybody in my town is in Polk County, but I live in Henderson County.
Right.
So I have to go to a place that's in Henderson County because they will check for emissions, which is a thing they do in Polk. In Henderson, but not in Polk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I had the car registered, like say at my mother-in-law's house, I could not even have a catalytic converter, and nobody would give a shit.
Right.
Secondly, tint. Tint's a separate charge.
It's not supposed to be.
Yeah, no, it's a separate charge.
North
it's like
Carolina,
$10 more.
No, I think you're getting fucked.
Well,
North Carolina.
I'm telling you, the place I usually go, I show up with the top down and the windows down, and they don't even fucking ask, and it cost me like $13. But I went to a different place the other day, and I rolled up, and they failed me because of the tires, and then after they did that, they rolled my windows up, and they were like, and also your tint's illegal, and I was like. Christ, you weren't even supposed to see that.
No, I know a place, but also I think you're getting fucked because that's a North Carolina law. Like it's the inspection is North Carolina only.
It should cost me $13 generally.
I think it's like 25 should be normally.
I swear to God, I paid 13 last time. Not the last time. I paid 22 to get failed, and then have to go pay
22 might be the actual.
I paid
price.
22 to get failed, and then I had to go get tires, which cost me $350 because I only had to get the 2 rear tires. But then the guy at the tire place said,
and it shouldn't.
He said next time you roll up, they're going to fail you for the front tires, and I was like, motherfucker, Jesus! Like
it shouldn't matter what county you get your test done in because it's North Carolina mandated. It's not county by county. We're not a home rule state. Yeah, we're not a home rule state, so individual counties can't make laws. So everything has to come from Raleigh. So I think you're getting fucked. We'll talk about this off air because
obviously we got off topic.
We got way off.
You might as well cue up the other graphic, you know.
Which well, it's too late now. Now we're back on track.
Okay. Well.
So that's fair. And well, this leads me into this one: acting your age, which you kind of alluded to with the whole, dye your hair blue. Right. At one point, we thought that was something only the youth could do. The Utes. But now, like, I am nearly 50 and I dye my hair fun
you do what you want
all the fucking time. So,
likewise, although I'll put this caveat, I've reached the age where I've out of fucks to give. So I will say there's like 2, and it's the same. You remember that the same reason that there's those ladies who go out and they wear purple and red.
Yeah.
Which is dumb because they're doing it as a group, but it's based on a poem.
Yeah. When I am an old lady, I'll
wear purple. And the idea was when I'm an old lady, I'll be out of fucks to give.
Right.
But I'll do what I damn well please is what the idea is. Mm-hmm. And I've actually definitely reached that. Like what, and I've always been relatively, but I would also code shift for work or whatever.
Oh, sure, absolutely. We all do.
But I'm kind of, especially since the last couple of years with the pandemic, and now that I work remotely.
Yeah,
all the fucks I have are gone. I don't care. I'll tell you, honest to God, the last 3 years, any clothes I've bought are this kind of shit. Mm-hmm. I don't even buy work clothes anymore.
And you'll be on a Zoom. Well, who cares? Because you're on a Zoom. You can wear like basketball shorts and
exactly.
shirt.
I don't give a shit.
Who the hell cares?
So everything I own is either a fucking weird Hawaiian shirt or like the most like obscure fucking like I'll buy these like these like so the style I'm into goth culture a little bit, but the style of goth, so there's like subcultures of goth too,
right,
and it's the type of goth that I like to dress in is what you would call dapper goth, which is kind of not quite Victorian, but definitely sort of a I like to like dress, I like suits and shit.
It has an aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I buy a lot of, like, when I spend money on clothes, that's what I buy. It's fucking like very freeing. Like I'll buy it, and I don't think twice about what the fuck am I going to wear to work because I don't go to work.
Right.
But even if I did go to work, I think I'm out of fucks to give. I'm at that age where I think I would just show up in a fucking purple tuxedo for a job interview, and they'd be like, okay,
And either they like you or they don't. No,
yeah,
I
get with it or don't get with it. I don't give a fuck,
I've owned my own business since 2012. I don't care anymore. Yes, librarian chic. Yeah. For sure. But literally my entire wardrobe is jeans and t-shirts or jean shorts and t-shirts and things like that. I have a handful of things to wear, like if there is an event I have to go to, but otherwise I literally don't. And even sometimes, like I've been about to go out with friends and I'm like, oh, we're going out. I'm going to get dressed up. And I put it on and I'm like, fuck this shit. And I put on my jeans and my t-shirt.
Yeah. If it doesn't feel good.
No thanks. Which, I mean, that's also, to be fair, like on a gender identity spectrum, like I'm all woman, but I also don't give a shit. Like I'm not like girly feminine. Right. So like jeans and t-shirts are fine. And I don't care. I've never worn makeup in my life. I've never done my hair in my entire life. I hate it. So jeans and t-shirts are my aesthetic.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, it's not mine. I don't own a lot of t-shirts anymore. I wore them a lot in the 90s, and then I kind of outgrew them. Like I got to a point where I was like, yeah, I'm trying to. I don't know. Like I've always been. I'll say I'm still image conscious, but my image is not like the main like I don't care about fitting in with people. Like I'm trying to portray a thing, but it's kind of
but it is the fucks to give.
It is the fucks to give.
I will, like, the first time I meet a new client, especially since all of our shit is on Zoom, right? I'll put on like a sweater because and my pajama pants, like, because it doesn't matter because they only see from here.
They see this, yeah.
And but after that first meeting, once we're like established, I'm like, I'm wearing this.
Yeah,
this is fine. They don't care.
They're like, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
Like,
every once in a while, someone will be like, "What does your shirt say?"
This is a it's funny. Actually, we both got pirate shirts on today.
That's true. That was
which we're not talking about pirates at all.
We're talking about,
but
anyway. So yes, I think acting your age, because this is one that's I've had people tell me this before, like, oh, you go to conventions, but you'll have to give that up someday when you're older. I've been to the same convention for 15 years. I'm literally I will die there.
And I see people well older than me there.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely.
I'd say that
cosplaying.
Half the fucking people there are older than me. At least half the fucking people are older than I am.
There's a lot for sure. But like,
there are people there who've been going there a lot longer than I have, and I assume it'll continue to be that way until those people die off.
But we still do costumes because you know what? They're fun and we enjoy it.
Because we would wear that to work if we could.
I actually I got one piece of a costume in today, and it's actually basically just like a corduroy overall dress.
Yeah.
And I put it on just to try it on, make sure it fit.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I want to wear this everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, where else can I wear this to?
My mother-in-law wears overalls exclusively. Like, that's her fucking...
That's her aesthetic?
Her normal thing is overalls. Like, that's what she... Or you know...
All right.
Yeah.
So I think we would be remiss if we did not talk about, though, the effects of aging.
Sure.
Aches and pains.
The downsides.
Medical problems.
Yeah.
All that sort of
shit. I'm relatively lucky in that regard. I don't know about... You've had, I know, a procedure.
Well, yeah, I had a medical procedure that was partially related to age, partially related to biological sex.
Okay.
Which was some bullshit. But, and also, by the way, women in healthcare, this is a whole separate show, but people don't take women fucking seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And I went and told my doctor for like 5 years that something was not right. And she's like, oh, let's wait.
Like,
let's wait.
Something's amiss down here.
I'm like, first of all, I'm never having children. So if you're worried about that, not a problem.
Yeah.
And also, I don't want it anymore. So yeah, I did have a hysterectomy this year, which is usually associated with older adults, older women. And frankly, I feel free. I feel liberated.
So you're happy with the whole thing?
Oh God, yes. Okay. I couldn't be happier.
It's funny because you had one about the same time my wife's business partner also had one, and
but she's a little younger than me.
She's a little younger than you, and she's actually having some like regretskis about it or something, which I don't think she was gonna have any more kids, so I don't understand.
Well, and also she had medical concerns.
Yeah, like, she had real.
What was she gonna do?
but Emily's like I would be happy to give this up. Like, you know,
I couldn't be happier.
Okay.
It was literally the best decision I ever made. And if I could have made it several years earlier, I would have.
Okay. Yeah.
If I had been given that grace by medical professionals.
I will say, thankfully for me, I have very few health concerns at this age. I'm a very lucky person to be approaching 50. I got a full fucking head of hair. I'm thankful for that. My eyesight just switched from 2020 to being slightly less than 2020. What else I got? Oh, my gums are a little receding. That's whatever.
I got a good dentist.
You got I know. We talked about dental stuff.
We did. We have a whole show. Go back and watch that show.
Yeah. If you care, go. Yeah, you can look on YouTube. You can search for it. Let's see. Health-wise, what else I got going on?
My only other big concern
is,
Jesus Christ, my fucking knees. So my mother has had a knee replacement. My sister has had knee surgery. My mother is going to be 84 this year. My sister is 11 years older than me, so she's going to be, she just turned 59, and she's had knee surgery. And every once in a while, and it is the weirdest feeling in the world. It's so surreal. Like, I will be minding my own fucking business and my knee will go out. Yeah. Like, it'll just, like, I can't even describe it. Like, it's just like, oh, fuck, my knee doesn't work anymore. And somehow I stay upright. And I'm like, so I do have someday.
I have some lower back issues, but I've had that for a while. And basically it's just changed my, I don't volunteer to move things.
Right.
Like if I got a friend who's like, hey, can you help me move on like, Sunday? I'm like, nope. No.
Which also is fair advice. Like, there was a time when I would be like, I'm going to move. But now I'm like,
if you're over, I will tell you this. This is good advice. If you're over 30, fucking hire movers. Your friends don't need to throw their back out for a fucking case of beer. They don't.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, actually, we have a really, really good friend who is about 20 years older than us.
Yeah.
And we didn't even think about it at the time. And he volunteered. But way back when we were first moving from an apartment to a house in Atlanta. So we had just moved in. He was actually a new friend at that time. And we asked for help, like, among our friends.
He owned a truck, didn't he?
Yeah. And
if you own a truck, you're that guy.
Well, and he's like, sure, I'll help you. No problem. So we weren't moving that far, and we could move things, like a few small loads at a time kind of thing. And we were moving from an apartment to a house. So we didn't have a lot to move, versus what we ended up buying in the house.
Right. Sure.
But I feel bad to this day because he, we were just shy of 30 and he would have been
around 50.
Yeah, mid 40s. I guess he's about 15 years older than us.
Yeah.
And he actually ended up with like severe back problems almost immediately after that. And I'm like, he never attributed it to us, which I think is just grace. Yeah. But I felt bad for 20 years.
Yeah. I will say that. That's a thing. And the other thing, I have a mild case of carpal tunnel arthritis right here.
I get that sometimes too.
I don't actually, it's not from this, it's from guitar, I think, because I actually hunt and peck. Although I'm old enough now where I don't peck I don't hunt anymore. Sorry.
You just back. I know where there.
I know where the keys are.
You can touch type. You're just this way.
It's just this. Now number key I can actually do blind.
I can do both.
I can do this blind, but you can't see me. I'm over here. Where's my hand? I can do this one. The calculator I can do blind. But I can't. The keyboard, I never learned the keyboard. I actually took a keyboard class in high school and I did not learn it.
Well, also, speaking of aging, we took keyboard classes in high school because we thought that was what would be the thing.
Oh my God. I'll tell you this about my keyboarding class in high school. We started out on an IBM, what was it called? Whatever the typewriter, the ball.
Yeah.
We started out on that, and halfway through the semester, we switched to computers.
Yeah, I did.
We to a PS2, and oh my God, and we hacked our system because they didn't set up a firewall. So we figured out how we could
of course,
we could like go backwards on the directories and get into the grading directory. And they didn't find out until it was too late.
Oh, of course.
Anyways,
nobody.
But this was, well before there was even an internet or anything. But
right. So, and I think this is also. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but aging family members and family history, right? Like,
sure.
My father passed away a couple of years ago.
How old was he?
84 when he died.
That's actually old for a dude.
Yeah, and my mother's about to turn 84 this year.
So you're not really worried about it for a while.
Well,
probably.
Well, every day is precious when somebody's over 80. But
I'm talking about yourself.
Oh, for me, no.
You're fine. Like, yeah.
The only thing I have as far as
shit will have gone to hell by the time I'm ready to check out.
Probably true. The only concern I have a little bit, although my mother was not affected by this in any way. I mean, literally not. She's sharp as a tack. But my grandmother died of Alzheimer's in the early 90s. So I have that in the back of my head.
Okay.
And I know that's been on my mother's mind, but at this point, that's not happening. I mean, there's probably some like age-related, oops, I forgot this, but not like Alzheimer's, which is a whole separate thing. But then my great aunt, who was my grandmother's sister, died at 90, just of old.
Being 90?
Of being 90.
Yeah.
Right. And she was,
the warranty was expired.
Yeah. She was independent. She lived on her own. And that's definitely my mom. And that's my hope for me. But obviously there is somewhat of that family history, right? But my father's parents died very young.
Oh, did they?
His dad died when he was 13 of tuberculosis.
Oh, gosh.
Which I guess is not a problem
We don't really die
anymore.
of the consumption anymore.
And his mother died when he was 21 so I never met my paternal grandparents, of breast cancer.
Okay.
And while
that's probably before they knew it was a fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean, really, yeah.
They were just like, I don't know. She had the boob thing.
Yeah.
And the boob bruises, you know?
It does slightly raise my risk level, but not that much because she was a paternal.
Yeah.
Like it's different if it's a maternal, like a direct.
I got you. It's like when your maternal, if your maternal grandfather is bald and you're a dude, then you're probably bald.
Yeah, there's genetics.
I'm starting to think that maybe that
I think some of that's bullshit.
I'm starting to think that
my grandfather was bald as fuck. My brother's got luxurious hair.
If that's true, I'm starting to think that my grandma got frisky with the milkman, if you know what I'm saying. Because my granddad, he was like, and I'm like, I don't know, man, this is some pretty luxurious. Like I'm saying for 50, I'm like,
sure.
I feel like I got a pretty good head of hair for 50.
No, you do. You do. You've got and I do too. You've got the white person hairline.
Oh yeah, the little widow's peak thing.
Yeah, and I do too. But I don't have my hair's not thinning, and it's fine.
So
I've got fine hair. I've got baby fine hair.
Yeah, my mom's got hair like yours, like it's like like fucking fine as frog.
Like
hair,
I've got a lot of it.
Yeah,
and it's fine. It's perfectly healthy, but it's actually the curls are new like that.
Oh, you know what? Emily got curls.
Natural.
Emily got curls after the last surrogate that she did. Her hair had always been straight, and then boom, it turned to curly.
And I know that my mother had like light colored hair, and then after one of her pregnancies, her hair got real dark.
Huh? Yeah.
So
I growing up,
shit.
I was a strawberry blonde until I was 10, I want to say, and then it turned brown, and then but my beard, of course, is still sort of auburn reddish, sort of, So
and that happens to like I've got a really good friend named David who has like dark hair, except his beard is red.
Yeah,
like it's just how genetics work.
Yeah.
No, 80 with most of my marbles.
The marbles.
Intact. That's sort
the
of
marbles. I think the marbles are the most important thing. Honest to God, like
for sure.
I mean, I would be frustrated if some body part failed, but I'd probably be more frustrated if the marbles failed.
Sure. Like I can live, to be fair, I could live my life like sitting on a couch or a bed now. Like I don't need to be mobile now, and I'm not even 50.
That might bother me now.
I want to be.
Yeah.
But if I couldn't do anything but watch TV.
So speaking back to the genetic thing, both my granddads lived to be 90. So I expect that I will be tired of the world before it is tired of me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I assume by the way things are going that I'll be like, I'm ready to die.
Yeah. No.
Like,
is it time yet? No, and I also recognize, because my beloved life partner Matt, who does talk openly about this, so I'm not like just revealing dirty laundry or whatever. But his father died when Matt was very young. He was 8. And his dad was 47.
Wow.
Which means when Matt turned 48.
Did he have a thing?
Yeah, I mean, that was a
lot of people.
milestone.
I'm aware of people who lose their parent early have a thing at the year when they outlive their parent. They have a thing. My mom did the same thing because my grandmother died in her 50s. She died of pancreatic cancer at like 56 or something.
Which that's a tough one. You don't really come back from that.
No, if you get pancreatic, I remember when Alex Trebek was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and he was like, "I'm fighting it." I'm like, "Yeah, but you're gonna die."
No,
like, come on, man. Nobody lives. Pancreatic cancer is the one that gets you.
Matt's cousin, who I was very close to, obviously, Matt was very close to, passed away at 32 of pancreatic cancer.
Yeah, and
like we talked about celebrity deaths. Let me tell you how much that death affected me, because he was like a year older than me. And I was like, oh, shit.
Which one?
Matt's cousin. Like,
I
was
thought you were saying he was a celebrity.
No, but I was really fucking close to him. When he died, man, and I was 31
Sure.
and he was 32. I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like that's mortality right there.
No, that is totally, yeah. So I mean, yeah.
But pancreatic cancer, which is not related to aging because
no, that's just the thing that you either get or you don't.
Yeah.
Like I think it's, I mean, obviously, well, there's genetic things because my grandmother got it, but you know, I'm not terribly worried about it. I haven't had my pancreas checked though, so
I mean, who does that?
I mean, I don't know. I got a CAT scan a couple of years ago because my back hurt,
Uh-huh.
and at the time, you know, it was a waste of money on the back thing because it turns out
Your back just hurt.
you know, this is funny. I went to the urgent care and I said my back hurt, and they were like, "Oh, you're just trolling for drugs."
Mm-hmm.
So they put me on the CAT scan, right? Or no, sorry, they gave me an X-ray,
right.
and they were like, "Well, we don't see anything, so we think what you've got is you got a kidney stone."
Oh, right.
And they said they said you need to go up to the urgent, you need to go to the emergency room and get a CAT scan. So I went to I was like, fuck that, because it was like 8:00 at night, and I was like, I'm not going to the damn emergency room at 8:00. I'll be there all fucking night. It was a Friday night. I was like, I'm not interested. I went Saturday morning. I got up and I went to the emergency room and I got in line.
right.
And eventually I got a CAT scan, and they were like, they were like afterwards, they were like, "Hey, let me ask you something. Do you drink beer?" And I was like, "Yeah, I drink a lot of beer." And they're like, "You don't have fucking kidney stones. There's no way you get kidney stones freaking beer." Like if you seriously, if you're an alcoholic, you are not going to have kidney stones. Like you might have a lot of fucking problems, but that won't be one of them.
Right. I did not know that.
That is a thing. Yes. Turns out, although to be also, I'll tell you, this is a thing. This is one of the pluses, one of the few pluses of being a woman, is when you pass a kidney stone, you don't feel like you're dying. Apparently, which is men, become complete fucking crying babies in the bathroom.
Right. Yeah, I've never experienced that. I was told once I had kidney stones, but nothing ever came of it.
Yeah.
But I actually had
keep drinking the beer. You won't.
But what I actually had, I had something weird, and they never figured out what was wrong. But that was when I was like in my 30s, so it's not age related.
Then I got a CAT scan though, and they're like, "There's nothing wrong with you. Your back hurts."
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave me some Flexeril, which is what I did not want because I don't like Flexeril because I can't function on it. Like Flexeril, for those who don't know, is a muscle relaxer, but it's not a localized muscle. Like you just which is
great for certain situations, but not just for like my back hurts, I want to function.
Yeah. So there's another one called Scalaxin, which does actually just make my back feel better, but they won't give it to me because when I go in and tell them I don't like Flexeril, I like Scalaxin, they're like, this guy's just a drug addict.
Mm.
And of course, like, you should be able to read my medical history and see that I haven't been in fucking 10 years. Like, so just give me the fucking thing I asked for.
Exactly.
But anyway, also, as I said earlier, I just avoid the things that make my back hurt now. So my back, I haven't actually had a back episode in like 7 or 8 years. Because
Dr. Bill told me to drink beer so I'll never get kidney stone. Can do. Thanks, Heather. It's true.
There you go.
We should
start a little life hack. That's my life hack.
That's a life hack. We should do another graphic that's like Dr. Bill's life hacks and do it every time you give us advice.
Yeah.
So yes.
There you go. Keep drinking the beer, folks. Keep the kidneys clean.
So all right, we could probably do this real quick.
What else we got going on?
Well, we have a ton of shit. Because that's always the case.
Okay.
But one thing we didn't get to was celebrity aging.
Oh my gosh.
And we don't need to spend a ton of time.
Fucking celebrities, man. They get older.
Yeah, the fuck.
Why?
But so this actually started, well, the one I wanted to mention, right? Because the one that everybody talks about is Paul Rudd.
Oh, yeah.
He is 50-something now. He looks exactly identical as he did when he was 20-something.
And you know who used to, but then one day they fucking switched, was Matthew Broderick.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, I would say for about 30 years, he looked the same. And then one day, bam, he was an old guy, right?
Yeah, I just watched the Tonys and he did an award. I mean, he looks like a man of his age now.
Oh, he does now, but you know what I'm saying?
Baby face.
There was a time. There was a time, I think it was right around when the producers came out, he finally started to look his age.
Yeah.
Up to that point, he looked like he was in his 20s. And I used to be like, man, that must be awkward. Like when him and his wife go somewhere.
Right.
Like, because she looked her age.
Right.
And he didn't. And she must have felt like,
Like, this is my son.
You know,
it's my son. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Paul Rudd. But then there was a conversation we had not that long ago. You texted me and said, I'm watching something.
Oh, is that dumb movie with fucking, what was it, Seth Rogen?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, Jonah Hill. Sorry.
Jonah Hill.
I get those two mixed up.
Yeah. Jonah Hill.
I can't tell Jews apart, apparently, or something.
Jesus Christ.
I can. But those two guys do look similar, right?
Not anymore.
But they used to.
They did, yeah.
Okay.
But not anymore.
They had the curly hair.
They did, yeah.
You know.
But anyway, the dad in that movie.
Yes, was David
Duchovny. And you texted me and said, wow, David Duchovny is aged.
He looked like Gary Shandling in this particular show. And it's not, here's the thing. I'm not so shocked that David Duchovny is getting older, but here's the thing. So David Duchovny was a good-looking man, but he was good looking in that sort of pretty boy way.
Yeah, and boyish charm.
Boyish, yes. And so when that ages, it's not the same thing as ruggedly, like watching Russell Crowe age.
Oh, Russell Crowe got fat as shit.
Okay, who am I trying to think? Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Although has a huge. He's got personal trainers and shit.
Okay, but I'm saying, Hugh Jackman or fucking even Harrison Ford.
Sure.
Like, just gets like to be a grizzled version of Harrison Ford.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but
absolutely.
So he just becomes himself, but older. Whereas David Duchovny went from boyish charm to, oh, he looks like Gary Shandling.
Although it's funny because when you said that, I Googled it and I found some recent pictures and I'm like, actually, I think he's more attractive now.
Really?
Which brings me to
just the difference in what you find attractive.
Well, exactly.
You weren't one of the people who found him attractive as Fox
didn't
Mulder.
in particular, no. I didn't hate him, but I wasn't like,
right, okay.
I got posters of him all over my room.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. But there are people who did that and they're probably like, ugh, when they see him now, you know? Like,
and now, so we talked about this briefly before the show, and we only have a few minutes left, so there's a couple things we want to cover, but like I find as I get closer to 50, like my favorite entertainment is also of mature characters.
Sure, yeah.
So whether that's David Duchovny or, you know, any other host of 40 plus actors,
sure, yeah,
that's the stuff I'm drawn to because it's the stuff I relate to.
I feel you there because the problems they're having are relatable. Someone like, for instance, you probably watched it now, but the show Shrinking we were talking about, with Jason Segel and also Harrison Ford, very good show,
but relatable,
yeah,
from
relatable
our perspective,
yeah, 100%,
exactly,
because they're people of a certain age, and any of actually I started watching a show with
Men of a Certain Age, that show.
No, I didn't. Is there a show called that?
There's a show called Men of a Certain Age.
I should watch it.
You should. It's got Scott Bakula and some other people.
Okay. I love Scott Bakula.
Yeah, who doesn't love Scott Bakula?
Count Bakula.
Count Bakula. Oh my God, when they did that on What We Do in the Shadows, oh my God, I died. But anyway.
I also I was watching the new show with Seth Rogen the other day, Platonic.
Oh yeah. No, I haven't yet.
You should.
I should. It sounds good.
I'm watching all the things with the Freaks and Geeks cast if they're in it.
Hey, that's fair. I do that as well because I love.
And I told you should watch
everybody but James Franco who could die in a fire.
Okay, Tulsa King, which has
Martin Starr.
Yeah,
my favorite character from Freaks and Geeks.
And I heard they're gonna do a reboot of.
Yes. Heather, I could not relate to you more right now. Anson Mount, I actually use it as an example for you when I was like, Anson Mount is fucking hot as shit, and he's like a total silver fox. Oh my God, I love
he you know what? He was in the last thing I saw him in was Looking, which was a show about gays in San Francisco, but I really liked him in that too.
And he was in another person like that is Timothy Olyphant.
Oh yes,
right.
Gosh.
Like
he
started out, we all watched him on Deadwood, and he was kind of young, but now he's like Silver Fox.
Santa Clara
Diet,
and then also The Mandalorian. Of course, he had a bit in that. Yeah,
right.
Love that guy.
So real quick, we have to go soon because we're gonna have Bill Has a Pizza and it's gonna be delivered shortly.
Delicious.
But I do want to point out that in Hollywood, particularly, Like we're talking about all these hot men that are over 40.
Yeah.
But there's a double standard for
sure,
women.
100%.
Right?
Yeah. You're out to pasture once you're 39.
Yeah, women age out. Like we were talking before the show, Maggie Gyllenhaal went out for a role like when she turned 38 or whatever. And they're like, yeah, no, we want to cast you as the mom to this 26-year-old person.
Yeah.
She's like, the fuck is wrong with you?
It's crazy.
No.
It's nutty. And I feel like it's probably getting a little better, but it's still there.
No, and a lot of the things we mentioned, the things we consume with older characters are those things.
Santa Clarita Diet of Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore.
I will watch Drew Barrymore in whatever she's in, and I recognize even while I was watching that, I remember looking at her and going, you know, she's looking her age, but she's not unattractive either.
Right.
You know,
and I'm okay with people looking their age.
Yeah, which is a thing people should do.
Yeah, do that.
like because it'll normalize it, you know, and make people not give a fuck.
And I think we are. I think the truth is like, whatever the standard is for Hollywood, right? I do think it is changing. And part of it is that like Gen X are now the people making those movies.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So they are changing the way we see that. So it's not boomers making movies using millennial actors.
Right.
Gen X people making movies using Gen X actors. So I think we are getting maybe a little more realistic. Obviously that won't last forever because at some point the next generation.
Yeah, sometimes the Xers or the Zennials will be making the movies.
The Zoomers.
Zoomers, yes.
One day. But anyway, all right, we should probably go so that we can get our pizza before.
Yeah, we do have a pizza coming.
It is coming.
And there's nobody else here to receive it, so we gotta go.
We do. Normally we have someone else here. Oh wait, we got 2 more comments before.
What do we got?
Yes, Jay. I was actually
older
espousing
the old ladies. You know, to me, the Golden Girls were actually all in their 40s and 50s when they played old ladies. Were they not?
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of folks don't get plastic surgery. So yeah, Yellow Jackets, I was telling Bill before the show, he hasn't watched it yet, although he wants to. Because it's class of 96, so all the actors are about our age. You know, I mean, 96 is 3 years after I graduated, 4 years after you did. And obviously the actors aren't just
I was college class of 96.
Oh, it was fair enough. I was 97, so that's fair enough. But the actors are the cast is the adult cast is fucking incredible. And what makes it even better is it's a split timeline, and there are kids playing the teenage versions of these characters. Mm-hmm. Some of them very big personalities, and those kids do a fucking fantastic job. Yeah. Like they get their mannerisms, their vocal tones, everything. It's so good. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna go. Bill Has Pizza. So Bill, why don't you take us away?
Alrighty. Bill Has Opinions is engineered and produced by Laura Lavoie. The opinions of Bill are his and his alone, unless Laura shared them, in which case they, agreed, whatever the hell. They definitely don't have anything to do with our sponsor, DPEG Marketing.
Except that I do, because I work. It's my company.
They do have something to do with it today. Didn't give us a dime, but they definitely were on board.
I'll give you a dime.
Okay, whatever. I mean, be sure to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Facebook. Be sure to hashtag Opinion Gang if you want to say something to us or, have a comment or question or idea for our upcoming show. We'll be glad to take that into account. And otherwise, tune in next week.
Oh, God, I didn't even look.
Next week, we'll be talking about another thing. Are we doing wheat beers?
At some point, we're doing wheat beers. I don't know if it's next week. I will let you know because we obviously have to buy those.
Okay.
But
I got a couple in the fridge I've been saving.
About every other week, I remember to look at it before the show, but this week was not one of those.
All right.
weeks.
Well, we'll be doing something if it's not wheat beers sometime in the near future.
Next week might be our quarterly whatever episode.
Oh, the whatever episode, which will even better. Okay, so that's what we'll be talking about. Whatever, which is a lot of short topics.
So basically, it's we transitioned the things that are extra into their own
all
show,
extra.
So it's all extra.
Okay.
Anyway. So that lines up.
We'll see you next week. Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Take it away.
Bye.